In this video, I want to compare and contrast the Shun Classic to the Wusthof Classic 6-inch chef's knife. These knives are very similar and very different. They're both handmade, they're both forged, and they both have relatively similar cutting edges. The Shun is ground down to 16 degrees, while the Wusthof is ground down to a slightly sharper 14 degrees. The difference really comes in two things with the blade. First off, the Wusthof is a very classic design, so it has a full bolster. It's not sharp down here, and it has a tendency to get in the way. The Shun does not have a full bolster, so from tip to end it is completely sharp and nothing gets in the way as you're cutting. The next biggest difference is the fact that the Shun uses a cutting core, the Wusthof does not. The Shun's core is made of VG Max steel, which is a very high-end steel, about 61 hardness, which means it's going to hold an edge very, very well. They then wrap either side in 34 layers of stainless steel that gives it this gorgeous Damascus finish and also makes it very resilient to pitting and rust and staining. The Wusthof is just a piece of their own proprietary 58 hardness steel, which means the blade is going to dull down much, much faster, but the opposite end of that discussion is the fact that this knife can withstand a lot more abuse since it is a softer metal. So if you abuse your knives, if you throw them in the sink and things like that, the Wusthof is going to be much more forgiving, and of course it's not wrapped again in anything. Both knives have full tangs. The Wusthof has a very traditional German handle, while the Shun has a very traditional D-shaped pakkawood handle. I actually really like the way the handle feels in your hand. It almost fills in your palm because of that D shape, and I'm a big fan of that. Pakkawood is of course a compressed resin-filled wood, and the Wusthof uses just black plastic. They're both going to be very resistant to water damage and staining, but obviously this is definitely a much better built handle. At the end of the day, they both have lifetime warranties. It's just that the Shun also comes with lifetime sharpening for free. I think that is great, especially if you don't want to have to spend a lot of money sharpening knives yourself and you don't want to have to physically sharpen knives yourself. That becomes a great thing to have added on. I'll put a link down to both below. It really comes down to personal preference. If you have any questions, any comments, or any concerns, let me know, and otherwise I will talk to you very, very soon.